Ladies and gentlemen, I was going to do a commentary about this man right on the left, Marcellus Wiley. Now, he had the audacity, for those of you who don't know who he is, he's the co-host of a show called Speak for Yourself, and he was on Fox Sports. Now, this idiot, this coon guy right here, had the audacity to talking about Colin Kaepernick's being biracial, which is the truth. Well, part of it he said is true, but part of it I'm gonna go in on him anyway. But part of it he was saying that yeah, Colin Kaepernick, he's biracial. He wasn't. I mean, he was basically adopted by a white family, and he lives in Wisconsin. All his of I mean, he was born and raised in Wisconsin, but he left some stuff out, and I'm gonna get to that in a second. But then he continued on saying that when we talk about the Jay-Z. In other words, I'm paraphrasing it. He was co-signing what Jay-Z is doing and dissing Colin Kaepernick at the same time. In other words, he's Jason Whitlock's right hand man. You know, basically, he was saying he's dissing Colin Kaepernick. He's dissing where he's from. He's dissing his girlfriend Nessa. Um, and the thing with that is that the way he did it, he's claiming that Colin Kaepernick isn't black enough. I'm just paraphrasing it. This is what he said on his show. He's not black enough to talk about social issues. Okay, I'm gonna get to the reality for a second. He was playing in the NFL in 1997, right? So, and he was from New York City. Now, he was talking about not being black enough or not focusing on the social issues or racial issues. Now, in 1997 in New York City, and for those of you who can remember me and remember that year, Abner Louima, a Haitian immigrant, has been beaten and sodomized by the NYPD. It's the truth. And Marcellus Wiley here talking about not being black enough, not talking about social issues. If you were black enough, if you want to talk about social issues with police officers beating up unarmed black men and women and killing unarmed black men and women, and yet you talking about Colin Kaepernick's, not being black enough because he's talking about social issues, you didn't bring up Abner Louima, the Haitian immigrant who was beaten and sodomized by the NYPD. This is your NFL career, by the way. Let's go back to 1999 when you was ended your NFL career and you still living in New York City at the time, right? Remember Amadou Diallo? Mm-hmm. An Ethiopian immigrant who was shot and killed 41 times by the NYPD, claiming that he had a gun. But it turns out he pulled out his wallet. And then let's go back to, and I believe, and let me go back to Sean Bell. Sean Bell was just got out of his bachelor party. Him and his people. The NYPD shot them almost 50 times, killing Sean Bell. And yet, you talking about you think that Colin Kaepernick isn't black enough because he's fighting for social justice? And you not one time, Marcellus Wiley, didn't even talk about those three people I was referring to. Louima, Amadou Diallo, and Sean Bell. You didn't, but yet you talk Abner Louima, Sean Bell, and Amadou Diallo. Those are the three people in your city now that's either been beaten and sodomized. One incident, the last two incidents, they were shot and killed multiple times by the NYPD. But yet, you had the audacity to talking about Colin Kaepernick being biracial and he's not black enough. Basically talking about social justice, not being involved in social justice, and you got that from the Jason Whitlock playbook. But that's okay because y'all play for the same coin. You work with each other on Fox Sports, on Speak for Yourself. But here's what I have a problem with. Yes, Colin Kaepernick is biracial. There's no doubt about it. Yes, he was adopted by a white family. There's no doubt about that either. And yes, he was born in Wisconsin, but you did not say what part of Wisconsin. Let me school you in, Marcellus Wiley, of where he was born. He was born in the most poorest city, one of the most poorest cities in America. And that is Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That's right. The same racial situation that happened in Milwaukee, by the way. And remember, what started him with this movement is when he heard about a situation in San Francisco that San Francisco police shot and killed an unarmed black man at that time that affected Colin Kaepernick. And that's why he took a knee. And yet you want to basically say, oh, he's not black enough. Oh, he's biracial. Whether he's biracial, I mean, what about your social justice issues? What about your right to all these incidents I was referring to, Mr. Wiley? When it comes to Abner Louima, who has been beaten and sodomized by the NYPD, Amadou Diallo, and Sean Bell, both of them been gunned down by the NYPD, and not one time, Mr. Wiley, you not even referred to or say anything about those cases. But yet you had the audacity to talk about Colin Kaepernick being biracial, that he's not black enough, or because his girlfriend ain't black enough, they don't understand the culture of what happened to police murder or beaten up by, when police murdered unarmed black men and women in this country, or police beating up unarmed black men and women in this country, they don't understand or they don't know the culture. And I'm paraphrasing what Marcellus Wiley said, by the way, but that's exactly what he said on the show. I just wish that they allowed me to download the video, but unfortunately they will not allow me. But that's okay. But I will say this, Mr. Wiley, since you want to do what Jason Whitlock is always doing, attacking Colin Kaepernick, attacking why he's taking a knee, doing just like what Jason Whitlock is doing, and not yet one time you didn't even refer to in your NFL career, after you retired from the NFL, incidents in the NYC where you're from, and yet you're gonna dog Colin Kaepernick for standing up for human rights, for civil rights, and not one time you not even think about the incident that happened in your city, which was New York City, by the way, with Abner Louima, with Amadou Diallo, and Sean Bell. And yet you want to talk about Colin Kaepernick and him being biracial and him, adopted by a white family and born in Wisconsin, which you left out what part of Wisconsin. So, Mr. Wiley, how does it feel to be excuse my French, ladies and gentlemen. How does it feel to be Jason Whitlock's bitch? You come back and get the facts before you even go on your television show and blast Colin Kaepernick's right to protest and taking a knee for racial injustice and police brutality. You come back on your facts before you say anything else. Leave a comment, tell me what you think, like, click, subscribe, and remember, ladies and gentlemen, you can click the notification bell for all the news and commentary. With that being said, this is Lions Den signing off. Deuces.